Ben Carson. He endorsed Trump today, even though Trump called him pathological and compared him to a child molester. Ben Carson doesn't need to endorse anyone. Eric, why do you think he endorsed the guy who spent weeks mocking him?
Maybe he was promised some kind of backroom deal in Trump's administration, or maybe it's an effort by Trump to try to appeal to black voters. I don't know how that would work through Ben Carson. I mean, maybe like the kind that are throwing bricks at people and chasing them with weapons, but I don't know. It's a strange endorsement, and I think it was just one of those ones that Trump probably made a deal with them. Carson says, I endorse you, and that's it. I don't think we'll see much more out of Carson.
Well, I think it's interesting that it was a very contentious campaign when Chris Christie and Ben Carson were still in it, and things were set. I mean, not by Ben Carson. Ben Carson never really said anything bad about anyone, but Donald Trump really attacked Christie. Christie really attacked him. Trump really attacked Carson, and now both have come over to his side. Eric, do you think that speaks to Trump's ability?
Sorry, I just thought of another point. Well, I was just going to add another point. Sorry, not to cut you off, but you do have to remember, too, Trump did come to the defense of Carson during the whole Ted Cruz, dirty trick scandal.
That wasn't the defense of Carson. That was to attack Cruz.
Of course. Yes, of course. But in terms of the way, it gets spun in the media, it makes Trump look like he was caring about Carson. There's this whole narrative, maybe that's why Carson came back. Who knows?
No, his whole argument was that because Ted Cruz said that about Carson, that Trump didn't win Iowa. That was the only reason he ever brought that up. But anyway, the fact that Chris Christie and Ben Carson are now on Trump's side, Peter, does that speak to maybe Trump's ability to, as he says, unify the party after this very, very ugly race?
Deals are made. I mean, that's the way it always works. We need to only look back to 2008 and the nastiness of the Hillary-Obama campaign. Hillary was actually siding with the birthers in her own kind of half-in, half-out way against Obama. And, then look what happened there. They're besties right now. All of these guys have tremendous egos and tremendous ambitions. Chris Christie knows that he's in a much better position politically going forward as playing some role in a Trump administration than he is going back to...
Ben Carson doesn't need this shit.
He doesn't need it per se, but he's got an ego. He put himself through this bit of the campaign. I suspect he enjoys going out and talking to people, especially when he's freed from having to have opinions from everything from Lithuania to soft coal. I mean, now he can go out and talk to the evangelicals the way he wants to without having to listen to idiot questions from reporters about Iowa corn subsidies, stuff that he obviously never knew and never cared about. So he's found a new purpose in life. He's well liked in those circles. He may have a role to play in the Trump administration. But you're right. I mean, he doesn't have to do this the way Chris Christie is driven. But they all, had their reasons to run, and they all have their reasons to stay in the game. And look, if Donald Trump implodes for some reason, I don't think Ted Cruz is going to say, hey guys, please don't endorse me, because you endorse Trump. That's not how it's done. Politics makes those strange bedfellows.
Honestly, I think if Trump implodes, GOP's in a lot of trouble. I don't see a candidate like Rubio or Cruz being able to pull in the support required to stage a general election of any relevance.
I think they're in trouble regardless, and I don't think we'd be even discussing them as legitimate candidates if it wasn't for someone like Hillary, who's so reviled by so much of the population that are favorable as compared only to those at Trump. But Carson said something weird at today's press conference where he endorsed them.
Something weird.
No,
I know, it's shocking, but he said that there's two Donald Trumps. And that was the line he used, to endorse him to be president. Eric, is that something we should be looking for in a president, a guy who says one thing in public and is a completely different person behind the scenes?
Isn't that what a politician is?
But doesn't that go against the whole Trump aura then, that he's not a politician?
Oh, of course it goes against it, but I mean, can we take anything Trump says seriously? If he gets elected, he's just going to be another politician. He's not going to be able to accomplish half the shit he says he's going to. He'll get blocked by Congress or other rules that are in place. I mean, he likes to talk like he's some life-changing candidate, but he's not. He's just another everyday candidate.
Yeah, but keep in mind the two Trumps are different than the two Hillarys, or the two standard politicians.
Stop bashing
No, I mean
Hillary.
the one Trump is the larger than life comic book character, the caricature of the other Trump, if you will. I don't think he's a politician in the sense that he smiles and kisses babies one day and then orders, mafia hits the next day. The way,
on those
classic,
same babies.
On the same babies, yeah. One of whom is baby Hitler. And so he's not that kind of movie two-faced politician. He plays a character called Donald Trump for most of the time. And I not to put words in Ben Carson's mouth because I'm sober right now and couldn't possibly imitate his thought patterns. Though I will just throw out there that the calmer, smoother Trump came right after meeting with Dr. Ben Carson, who can write prescriptions. Just throwing it out there. The idea would be that the two Hillarys keep getting her in trouble. The Hillary who says one thing to her rich donors and the Hillary who tries to present herself as the populist. That creates that kind of dissonance in voters that make them not trust her. In Trump's case, the two Trumps work together, if you will, and appeal to voters who believe behind the scenes he's going to actually be a good negotiator and he's going to actually try to. The belief of the voters is that the United States doesn't get anything in return for what it gives. That was the theme last night with Cuba, with Iran, and things like that. And Trump presents himself as, I know how to do this. And I think that's very appealing.
Just to correct
he
you,
wrote The Art of the Deal.
That's right, the greatest book outside of the Bible. Just to correct Peter real quick, there's more than two Hillarys. There's the Hillary that says what she does now to the special interests, the Hillary that says whatever she says to the regular people, and then old Hillary from the Senate and campaign days, and then previous Hillary from the Bill Clinton administration where she was calling people super predators and supporting things that
And my favorite, Plantation Hillary.
Yes, Plantation Hillary is everyone's favorite. But all right, back in the